going on, everybody? It's Jake, and today we are going to be talking about the possibility of Aiga returning and why I really doubt that he will. So let's just get right into it. Now, I want to start this video off by saying spoiler warning because I am going to be talking about the end of Beyblade Burst Cho-Z. So if you have not seen that yet, or you are waiting for the dub to come out, then I would click off this video and watch one of my other videos. That's what you should do. So we know that Aiga beat Fi in the semi-final episode of Beyblade Burst Cho-Z. And then in the final, he beats Valt to become the world champion. And with the premiere of Beyblade Burst GT, Aiga is really nowhere to be found, and not really anybody is talking about him. So now many people are left to think, is Aiga going to come back? Is Valt the champion again? Did he get it back afterwards? Kind of just what is the deal? Because we had a major character, the protagonist of the third season, go on to be the champion, and now it's like he's forgotten, kind of. So let's look at a couple of reasons why I do not think that Aiga is going to be coming back. The first, and this is kind of like a pretty big one, and that is that the A name is already used. And what I mean by that is, let's take Bushin Ashura. It starts with an A, or at least the Ashura chip does, and Achilles also starts with an A. Obviously. Or the chip, instead of being called A for Achilles, it'd be called like AC or AH. Since this would be an exception to the naming scheme, it just kind of seems unlikely, but it's still a possibility. But now we're moving on to the next reason why I do not think that Aiga is going to be coming back. In my opinion, Cho-Z was the full-on story of Aiga. You saw him first become a blader, you saw him get his Achilles, then later he got Cho-Z Achilles, and it was just a really deep and kind of sort of complex story about Aiga, and it kind of just wrapped up nicely. He wanted to be able to challenge Valt and be at the same power as Valt, and then at the end, he is the champion. It's the way that they ended Cho-Z was almost like a little bow. It didn't really leave anything in the open. And with Drum being the new main character for Beyblade Burst with Beyblade Burst GT, it's even more so. If they wanted to continue with Aiga's story, then Aiga would still be the main character. Or they would do what they did with Valt and kind of make him a secondary main character, because Valt's main story ended in Beyblade Burst God. And of course, Valt's full story is not over yet. That's not really what I mean. There's pretty much two different storylines for Valt, in my opinion. Season 1 and Season 2 kind of showed off his rise to fame and his rise to being one of the best, if not the best, in the world. Then in Season 3, you saw him go from being the best to kind of passing on the torch a little bit to Valt. Hey, what's up, dudes? It's Jake from the future. Well, editing. I meant to say Valt passes on the torch to Aiga, not Valt passes on the torch to Valt. So, whoops. Or not really a little bit. Valt is the champion, so he passed the torch on fully. And then with Season 4, with Beyblade Burst GT, which will most likely be the final season, Valt is the teacher. He is the mentor. He is what kids look up to now, instead of being that kid that looked up to other people. But this was a video about Aiga. Never mind. Let's just rewind a little bit. But once again, in my opinion, Cho-Z is the beginning and end of Aiga's story. You saw him go from being a nobody to being the champion. Much like I just said about Valt, except it happened in one season versus 2. And since Ashura took over the Achilles naming convention, it took over the A spot pretty much. We know that unless Takara Tomy goes against their naming convention and kind of does something special, that it just doesn't look like Achilles is going to make a return. So will he come back? I don't think he will come back in a major way. I don't think we're going to have a full-on story arc where he is super important and he's like, yo, what's up? It's me. How you doing? Here's my Achilles. Now, what I would like to see is I would like to see Aiga come back in sort of the same way that Shu did. Maybe tease him a little bit toward the beginning of the season, and then at the very end, he'll come back, be very important to training Drum against, you know, the final bad guy, and then there you go. We kind of have the end of GT. And I just want to say, kind of off topic, but I think it would be really, really epic if there was some big bad guy that Drum was going up against, and the show wraps up with like a shot of Drum, Aiga, Shu, and Valt all like together. That would just be really cool to see. It'd be a cool ending. But anyways. But I would like Aiga to come back in at least some way because he was just such a major character. And even if he doesn't have a new Achilles, let's say he's still using Cho-Z Achilles, that'll still be pretty strong anyway because it's Aiga. Aiga's always been really strong. Whoa, theory time, guys. What if Aiga is Delta's mentor? Think of this. So we know that Delta and Drum are kind of underneath Valt. Valt is their mentor. What if Delta doesn't really like that Valt is favoring Drum and instead it goes and trains under Aiga? And Aiga ends up being a bad guy. Mind blown. I really have no clue, but as of right now, it is kind of unlikely that he'll return in a major way at all. Just like it's unlikely that Free will return, and it's kind of unlikely that Shu will return. But I'm still keeping my hopes up. I'm still kind of hoping that they will come back, that all of the huge characters that we know and love throughout all seasons of Beyblade come back. Even Louie. Yatakar told me I have not forgotten about him. I haven't forgotten that you brought him back for like 5 episodes and then just shoved him away. I'm still waiting for him to come back. But I think I'm going to end the video there. It was kind of a rant and I didn't really give a lot of useful information, but I saw a lot of comments wanting me to kind of talk about Aiga, asking if Aiga was going to come back, so I wanted to give you my thoughts on it, just like I gave you guys my thoughts on whether or not Shu is going to come back. But if you like this video, hit that like button. I don't really care how many likes this video gets. Let's get 1 million. I want 1 million likes. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button to join the Nook Nation because we are on a mission to hit 200,000 subscribers before summer. And if you want to help us out a little extra, you can go and cop some merch. Because, you know, ilinnuc merch, right? How can you go without some ilinnuc merch? But I'll see you guys in the next one. Have fun and bay away.